Bring us your baffling.
Bring us your audacious.
We want your sticky notes, sketchbooks, and scribbles. Let's pin them to the wall, kick them around.
Kick them around, see what happens.
Because we're in the how do I get this startup off the ground business.
The taking your business, global business.
We're in the problem-solving business. 400,000 people.
Ready to help you solve problems while they're still called opportunities.
From figuring it out to getting it done.
We're here to help.
Welcome to another edition of Zips Weekly. I'm your host, David Suntup. We'll take a look back at the past week in Zips athletics, including my chat with Akron women's basketball head coach Jody Kest. A trio of fantastic performances from Akron baseball's weekend rotation. And Sean Barber continues to vault his way to new heights. We start off with our women's basketball season recap. I'm here with Jody Kest to recap another 20-win season for the Zips. And Coach, you guys went 22-9, including 12-6 in the MAC, set program records for regular season wins and home wins. Now that you've had 2 weeks to reflect on the season, what stands out to you about the year you guys had?
Well, you know, we weren't happy with the way we ended. I mean, you don't want to lose the way we lost Eastern Michigan and Kansas State, but I'm never going to allow one game or two games to define our season. And I thought we had an outstanding season. We accomplished a lot of individual goals as well as team goals, like you said, with the 22 wins, 13 home wins, 3 players all conference, 1 player all freshman team. You know, there were so many positives in knowing that we're going to lose a great player in Cinna King next year, but she's the only player that we're going to lose. And you know, great recruiting class coming in. Our young kids learned a lot this year. I think they're going to be much better next year with the experience that they've had, and just couldn't be more prouder of the year that we had.
You mentioned Cinna King, the MAC Player of the Year, after leading the conference in scoring and rebounding. You spent a lot of time with her over the past 5 years. How was she able to have that kind of season after sitting out all of last year because of blood clots?
It's all about her. She just worked harder than anybody that I've ever coached. In the summertime, after freshman year, when everybody else went home and we didn't have individual workouts, she was up on her own every day working out with a young man on the men's basketball team. And it's just the way she is. She just wants to win. She wants to win individually. She wants to win as a team. And she's going to put the time in. And I couldn't be more prouder of what she's accomplished, not just this year, but in the 5 years that she's been with our program.
You brought up the young players. Everyone returns next year except for Cinna King. What's your message to everyone coming back next year?
You know, they got to be hungry. You know, we're going to start workouts next week. We gave them 2 weeks off. I hope they want more.
Well, Coach, thanks for the time. Had a lot of fun with you on Zips Weekly this whole year, and I appreciate you joining me every week.
Well, thank you, David.
Akron baseball finally played its first home games last week after logging more than 6,600 bus miles for games outside of Akron. The Zips hosted Youngstown State in their home opener, played another midweek game at Ohio State, and then took on Toledo in its second MAC series of the season. The Zips dropped their home opener 8-7 to Youngstown State. Josh Davis struck out 9 in 5 innings in his first career start, while Jared Rohan went 2 for 5 and drove in 3 runs, and Mason Mammarella went 3 for 4. Akron dropped to 10-11 with the loss. Akron fell at Ohio State 9-4 in an in-state non-conference showdown. 5 players had 2 hits for the Zips, including Joey Haverlack and Chris Simonton. The loss put the Zips at 10-12. The Zips lost their series opener against Toledo 3-2, despite a fantastic outing from John Valek. The lefty had a career-high 10 strikeouts and allowed just 1 unearned run in 8 innings. Akron trailed 3-2 in the 9th with nobody out and the bases loaded, with a chance to tie or win the game, but couldn't get the big hit. Akron rebounded from a loss in the opener with wins in both games of the doubleheader against Toledo on Sunday. The Zips won the first game 10-1 behind a great performance from JT Brubaker. The junior struck out a career-high 7 batters and pitched 8 shutout innings to earn the victory. In Game 2, the Zips took down the Rockets 2-0. John Pusateri tossed 7 shutout innings and struck out 7 for his second straight win, while Matt LaRocca earned his 5th save of the year. Catcher Brian Lees had a great day at the plate after going a combined 5 for 7 with a pair of RBIs in 2 games. Akron improved to 12-13 overall and 4-2 in MAC play after its second conference series win of the season.
Well, as we talked after the game yesterday, we needed both wins, and more so obviously to win the series, but also that could come down at the end of the season for a tiebreaker for the tournament, and that's exactly what happened last year. We won the series at Toledo, and we won the tiebreaker when it came down to seeding for the tournament. We probably don't go to the tournament if we don't end up winning that series last year. So that was our goal coming in this year, for today's games, these 2 games. And then the starting pitching was fantastic. All 3 guys did great. It continued with John Pusateri in the second game. JT Brubaker in game 1 today was fantastic. All those guys, they didn't give up an earned run, I guess, and you couldn't ask for anything more. A good sign here today was Pusateri, no walks, 7 strikeouts. That's near perfect right there. I wish it would have been a little bit spread out more. We made it close toward the end, but we won a close one, and that's all that counts.
Akron softball hit the road to face Northern Illinois in its first MAC games of the season. The Zips were looking to build off their momentum from winning the Cherry Blossom Classic 2 weeks ago. The Zips dropped both games of their doubleheader at Northern Illinois, with a 9-1 loss in Game 1 and a 9-8 loss in the second game. Freshman Caitlin Gambone had 2 hits in the first game and drove in the Zips' only run with an RBI double. In Game 2, Akron battled back from an 8-4 deficit to tie the game in the 7th inning, but lost on a walk-off double. 8 out of 9 players in the lineup recorded at least 1 hit. Kelly Raudabush hit a solo homer, while Cassie Gillespie and Alyssa Nicholas each drove in 2 runs. The Zips dropped to 12-13 overall and 0-2 in the MAC after the 2-game set. Akron Tennis split a pair of matches this weekend after beating Bowling Green and losing to Miami. In the Bowling Green match, senior Olga Skundina won in straight sets at second singles, while freshman Ari Blanova continued her strong spring season with a victory at third singles. The Zips are now 9-9 overall and 1-3 in MAC matches.
Friday was a good match for us. We obviously really needed to pick up the MAC win against BG. Finally won a doubles point. It's been a while since we've done that. So picked up some good wins throughout the lineup. Still hurting, still trying to figure out how to get certain people back in the lineup. But again, Friday was a good win. Today struggled quite a bit. We knew what Miami was going to bring in, but we're just depleted, and it's really tough to play a team at that level with some of the injuries that we currently have.
The Akron track and field team started its outdoor season this past weekend with Sean Barber looking to break some more records. Sean Barber set a new school meet record and Canadian national record after his vault of 19 feet and 4 1/4 inches. Barber's vault helped him win the pole vault title at the Texas Relays to begin the outdoor season. The junior wasn't the only Zip to break a school record. Kyle Cochran set a school record in the 5,000 meters, while the 4x400 relay team of Miles Baldwin, Brent Gray, Mike Owenbor, and Sean Weems ran the fastest time in school history. Claudia Garcia Jiao also set a school mark in the high jump with her jump of 6 feet and 3/4 inches. Akron men's golf came in a tie for 10th place at the Furman Intercollegiate in South Carolina. Sophomore Jan Pfeiffer finished tied for 30th place after shooting 5 over par during the tournament, while George Bayless shot an even par 72, 1 shot above his career low round to finish in 44th place. Akron women's golf finished in 11th place at the MSU Ocala Spring Invitational last week. Laura Murray came in a tie for 9th place after shooting 7 over par, her second straight top 10 finish. The senior also recorded a career-low round of 71 on the second day of the tournament. Our Zip Student Athletes of the Week are John Valek, JT Brubaker, and John Pusateri. The trio dominated against Toledo after recording 24 strikeouts without allowing an earned run in 23 innings. Akron's weekend rotation helped the Zips win 2 out of 3 games versus Toledo and improve to 4-2 in MAC play. Coming up this week in Zips Athletics, Akron softball plays its first MAC home games with a doubleheader against Eastern Michigan on Friday and 2 home games against Central Michigan to wrap up the weekend. The track and field team hosts the Northeast Ohio Quad in its first outdoor home meet of the year. That wraps up this edition of Zips Weekly. Tune in next week as we recap Akron softball's first home games of the season. Thanks so much for watching. I'm David Suntup for GoZips.com.